ABC Kinderteach presents The Skeleton Inside You, written by Philip Balestrino, illustrated by True Kelly. On Halloween, I wore a skeleton costume. I used to think skeletons were made up just to scare people. Now I know that skeletons are real. They are not scary. I would not be me without a skeleton. You would not be you, because everybody has a skeleton inside of them. Skeletons are made up of many bones. Bones give you shape. A ball of clay has no bones inside it. You can make a ball of soft clay into any shape you want. You can make it into a little figure. Then you can squash the figure and roll it into a mustache or a snake. See, there's a little figure, and this gets squashed, and then it makes it into a mustache or a snake. But nothing can change your shape because you have a skeleton inside you. Skull, jaw, neck, collarbone, upper arm, lower arm, shoulder blade, backbone, upper leg, lower leg, heel bone, knee bone, pelvis, breastbone, thumb, ribs, wrist, hand, fingers, foot, toes, knee bone, and tailbone. A marionette has a skeleton too, but it is made of wood and wire, not of real bones. And this is what a marionette really looks like. And you control it by just moving these pieces of wood around. A plain wooden chair is like a skeleton without any covering. When the chair is covered with stuffing and cloth, like this one, it is like your skeleton covered with muscles and skin. But your skeleton is different. It is made up of bones, not wood. And look at the cat. It's scratching the chair. I hope it doesn't get into trouble. Your skeleton is made up of 206 bones. Wow, that's a lot of bones. There are 64 bones just in your 2 hands and arms. 64, that's a lot. Some of your bones are big, others are small. Some bones are flat, others are round. So your upper arm has 1 bone, your lower arm has 2, your wrist has 8, your hand has 5, and your fingers and thumb 16. And that's on each side. And here's what your bones look like. Lots of fancy words. Bones are hard. They give your body shape. Your ears and nose have something called cartilage in them to give them shape. Cartilage is softer than bone, and so it can bend. When the barber folds over your ear to cut your hair, your ear does not break off. That's good. That's because of the soft cartilage in your ear. So your ear is not made of a bone. It is made of a thing called cartilage, and it can bend. Once I pushed my nose flat against a bakery window to look at some cookies. Those cookies do look good. My nose didn't hurt and it didn't break off. It came back to the same shape. Push your nose flat. It will bend because it has cartilage in it. It does. Sometimes bones get broken. I Fell out of a tree once and broke my arm. Ooh, that looks pretty dangerous, doesn't it? My mother took me to the doctor. The doctor took an x-ray. There's an x-ray. Then he fitted the bone back together. Next, the doctor put a stiff plaster cast on my arm to keep the bone together. There's the cast. I had a sling around my neck. There's the sling to hold my arm and the plaster cast. For several weeks I wore the cast. All the time the bone was growing back together. When the doctor took off the plaster cast, my bone was all healed. And there she is, climbing in the tree again. I don't know if that's a good idea. And that's what an x-ray of a bones look like. Bones live and grow, just like every other part of the body. Bones start to grow before you are even born. As your bones grow longer, you grow taller until you're all grown. So, bones growing, growing, growing. The bones in your hand change and grow just as you do. So a baby's hand may look this big. Someone who is 2 years old has bones that are bigger. 6 years old, bigger. 12 years old, bigger. Foods like milk and cheese and some leafy vegetables have calcium in them. Calcium is a mineral, almost like a vitamin, that helps bones grow. Calcium also makes bones hard. Without it, all your bones would be as soft as cartilage. They would be soft enough to tie into knots. So you could do this if you did not have bones, but you had cartilage. But it would make it really, very hard to walk. The butcher cut up a big soup bone for my mother. The inside of it looked like this. It was a bone from a big steer's leg or a cow's leg. Your leg bones look almost the same inside. Inside your bones is a core that looks something like a sponge. All the little spaces in the core are filled with soft bone marrow. Bone marrow helps make the red cells of your blood. The insides of bones store calcium and other minerals that come from the food you eat. These minerals are saved up until your body needs them. And here's a picture of bone marrow as well, and this is like the veins in your arms. All your 206 bones fit together to make your skeleton. Your skeleton helps you stand up straight. So if they took an x-ray of your entire body, it would probably look like this. Without a skeleton, you would be like a ball of soft clay that can be molded into anything. You would be as floppy as a big beanbag, which means you wouldn't be able to do hardly anything. Some bones in your skeleton protect important parts inside of you. Your rib bones, right here, cover your heart and lungs. Your skull protects your brain from hard knocks. The bones around your eyes protect them the way a football helmet does. So having a skull protects your brain in case you accidentally got hit with a ball or a football. Your skeleton also helps you walk, run, and jump and move in many ways. The bones of your skeleton fit together at joints. There's a joint, there's a joint. Without joints, your skeleton could not move or bend. Shoulders, elbows, and ankles are joints. So without joints, you'd almost be like you couldn't do anything. You couldn't even hop. You could not walk. You'd just have to almost like stand perfectly still. There are more than 200 joints in your skeleton. These are all joints. There are 56 joints in your hands alone. That's a lot. The bones are held at the joints by ligaments, and these are ligaments. Ligaments are like strong pieces of string. They hold the bones together at the joints, but they also slide back and forth and sideways to let the bones move. Your backbone is made up of 34 bones that fit together at 33 separate joints. So there's your backbone, and every one of those things is a joint. That is why you can twist and turn almost any way. You can do a somersault, or you can make yourself into a bridge, back up bridge, or belly up bridge. If a backbone were only one bone, you could not do these things. And that's an x-ray of your backbone. And of course, these are your ribs on the front. You could not put on a scary skeleton suit. You would not be able to run or jump or ring doorbells on Halloween if you did not have a skeleton inside you. Wow. I am so happy that I have one now that I know what it does.